In a quiet village, brushed by red dust and bent trees, where goats wandered freely and smoke curled from clay ovens, there lived a boy they called Kétu. He was a strange one, barefoot, wide-eyed, always carrying wires in his pockets like charms. Some said he was mad, others said he was cursed. But before the whispers came, Kétu had a gift. At just 6 years old, he could fix anything. Radios, flashlights, fans, even broken clocks others had long given up on. Under the village mango tree, he would sit for hours, turning scrap into machines that blinked, ticked, and sometimes even sang. But brilliance in a child is not always celebrated, not in places where fear walks louder than understanding. His mother saw it, though. She called him her spark boy. She believed his hands carried something sacred. But when illness took her, that spark was left unguarded, and in her place came a stepmother with cold eyes and a colder heart. She didn't strike him with fists. Her weapon was crueler, a whispering poison in his porridge. From that day, Kétu began to change. His eyes wandered, his words became riddles. He spoke to goats, radios, and sometimes to the wind. He laughed when others cried and stared when others spoke. The villagers shook their heads and sighed. Such a shame. He used to be so bright. So Kétu became a ghost in his own home. He wandered the village, collecting scraps, building things no one asked for and no one understood. He slept beside broken engines and talked to birds that never replied. Children mocked him. Elders crossed the road when he passed. But deep within his mind, something still glowed. Because genius doesn't die, even when buried in madness. Far away, in the great city of Ako, lived Chief Otuba Aremu. He was everything Kétu was not. Powerful, sharp, respected. A billionaire with steel towers, silent screens, and drivers who opened his doors before he even reached them. And yet, every month without fail, Otuba returned to the village. Each time, he brought a gift. Not for the chief, not for the school, not for the church, but for the so-called mad boy. Sandals, phones, a solar panel, a generator, even a laptop. The villagers laughed behind his back. Why is the big man feeding a mad boy? Maybe city life has spoiled him. Or maybe that boy is his source of wealth. But Otuba only smiled. Something about Kétu pulled at him, something familiar, like the scent of old wood or a voice you can't place but dream about. He never stayed long, just gave the gift, watched the boy for a moment, then disappeared into his black Jeep and drove away. And Kétu? He never said thank you, but he used every part, every wire, screw, and circuit to build new, strange machines that only he understood. And then, one day, the city cracked. Otuba's mighty company, vast, secure, and powerful, fell silent. The servers crashed. A cyber attack swept through like fire through dry grass. His engineers panicked. His businesses froze. His fortune began to melt away. He summoned every expert he could find. None could fix it. And yet, like clockwork, the last Saturday of the month arrived. Otuba returned to the village. This time, something strange happened. For the first time ever, Kétu spoke. "Your business is in trouble," he said calmly, "and yet you still came." Otuba blinked in shock. "How do you know?" Kétu didn't flinch. "I know, but don't worry, you'll get it back." From his pocket, he pulled out a scratched flash drive, glowing faintly at the edges. "Take this," he said. "Upload the files when you return." Otuba hesitated, but something in the boy's steady gaze reassured him. That night, time moved slowly, like a vehicle trapped in traffic on the third mainland bridge. Monday couldn't come fast enough. While others walked, Otuba ran. While others ran, he flew. He called his lead technician and told him to be in the office by 6 a.m. sharp. By dawn, Otuba was already at the office, standing by the glass door with the flash drive in hand. "Sir, you're here already?" his technician asked, surprised. "Let's get to work," Otuba said. "Here, download the files and run the patch." "Okay, sir," the tech guy said, eyes scanning the flash drive. It was a moment of decision. They inserted the drive. Otuba's blood froze. His head spun. His hands quivered. His legs felt like they wanted to dance. But his eyes were locked on the big screen. Then, in seconds that felt like years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the screen blinked. Green lines appeared. Boom! A bright welcome appeared in bold letters. Welcome to Otuba Tech. The logo burst onto the screen in radiant colors. The servers came alive. Lights blinked. Machines purred. "The server is back," shouted the technician. Otuba leapt from his seat in joy. He danced like a child. "How did you do it, sir?" the technician asked, eyes wide. Otuba smiled. "You won't believe who did it," he said. "But just hold that thought. I'll tell you soon." In less than 2 hours, everything was restored. The screens lit green, the systems hummed again, and the city breathed again. And in that moment, Otuba saw him, not as a madman, but as something else entirely, a mirror, a memory. He wasted no time. He drove back to the village. But Kétu was sick. He rushed him to the hospital. The doctor ran tests. The boy needed blood, and not just any blood, a rare type. Otuba offered his own. When the results came back, it was a match. And when Kétu woke up, the clouds in his mind were gone. He spoke clearly. He smiled. He remembered. He recognized people. His laughter returned at the right time. Days later, as they walked into Otuba's house, Kétu stopped and pointed at a photo frame on the wall. "That's Uncle Daniel," he said. Otuba's heart skipped. "You know him?" "Not well. My mummy once showed me his picture. Said he used to come to our village and sometimes slept at my grandfather's house. But she said he stopped coming." Otuba nodded slowly. "Did she ever say anything else?" "No, only that she hadn't seen him in years." Otuba's wife stepped forward. "Let him rest. You can talk later. Kétu, come, let me show you to your room. There are clothes in the wardrobe. Freshen up and come down for dinner." The next day, Otuba sent for a DNA test. And the results? Positive. 99% match, the doctor said. "He is your blood." Otuba was shocked. "How? My brother never told he has a child," he murmured. Later that night, alone with his wife, Otuba showed her the DNA result. She gasped. "You have another child?" "No," he said gently, "but I think I found something important." She paused. "Then, what does this mean?" "I'll explain everything, but this weekend, we go to the village." They arrived on market day. The village buzzed with life. People stared. Is that not Kétu, the mad boy? But this time, he was dressed clean, shoes on his feet, a quiet smile on his face. They walked into the home of Mr. Gbenga, the man who had raised him. Otuba asked calmly, "Please, tell me about this boy's birth." Mr. Gbenga didn't look surprised. "Everyone knows, Kétu is not my biological son. His mother had him before I married her. I raised him as mine until I became disabled after an accident on my way back from the market." He paused. His father was one Mr. Dan. Otuba's voice cracked. "Daniel? Yes, he used to sell goods in our market. Sometimes he stayed overnight. Kétu's mother loved him, even kept his old market shed long after he stopped coming. It took me 3 years to convince her to marry me. She will always says he will come back, but he never did. After 3 years before she decided to marry me, God rest her soul." Tears filled Otuba's eyes. "Daniel was my brother. He died years ago in an accident while returning from a trade trip." He turned and embraced Kétu. "My brother's son, my nephew." Everyone in the room went quiet. He then told them how Kétu had once fixed his broken vehicle and warned him of a man who would try to cheat him in business by writing on a piece of paper. Just as the boy said, the man tried to take more than his share, but Otuba insisted on the split Kétu recommended. That deal made millions and gave birth to his company, Otuba Tech. That's why month after month, he always came back. Later, a message arrived. Mr. Genga's wife, Kétu's stepmother, wanted to speak. They found her at the herbalist's home. She confessed, I poisoned him. I didn't want him dead. I just wanted him to fail, so my own children would shine." She wept. Kétu forgave her. He prayed for her healing. The villagers stood in shock. The boy they mocked was the rich man's nephew. Otuba helped Mr. Genga get proper treatment. The man walked again. His wife recovered. Kétu asked one thing: "Please, help Bola further her education. She used to feed me when I was nothing." Otuba promised. He gave Mr. Genga capital to restart his trade. He sponsored Bola through school. And Kétu, he was welcomed home, reunited with family. Enrolled in school, he graduated with flying colors and returned to Otuba Tech, not as a project, but as Chief Technology Officer, CTO. And together, they built something new, not just a company, but a movement. They called it Kétu Minds, a foundation for village children called mad, strange, or cursed, the ones who saw things differently, the ones forgotten. They gave them training, tools, wires, solar kits, laptops. They gave them hope. And Kétu, he still walked alone sometimes, still preferred radios to crowds. But now, when he spoke, the world listened, because the boy they once called mad had saved an empire, rebuilt his family, and reminded everyone of something very old and very true. Not all madness is madness. Sometimes it is brilliance, misunderstood. And not all family is found in palaces. Sometimes they sleep in the dust, waiting to be remembered. Sometimes the ones the world forgets are often the ones who carry the greatest light. Do good, be good.